into InGame Live Prime Time, hour number one of our 2-hour extravaganza. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan until 10 p.m. Eastern Time, covering and, more importantly, betting in the world of sports. Ah, yes. Not a great night, but it's a night just the same. We got a little NBA, a little college basketball, full slate of hockey games. So for that, it makes it a big slate and a nice night, just the same. And we'll run down all the NFL playoff scenarios, and there are still a lot to be determined. That's what you get when you have 14 teams making the playoffs. Just about everybody is still alive mathematically. It won't be easy for certain teams. Certain teams control their own destiny. We'll go over it all over the next 2 glorious hours. Mr. Sharapan, what's going on, Dave? How are you tonight, bud?
Hello, sir. Good to see you. I am still recovering from a couple really close games that we had to really sweat. That Iowa total, I mean, that took years off of people's lives. I mean, that was unbelievable. And then what I thought was going to be a pretty easy cruise victory in the Sugar Bowl turned into one of those games that you cannot believe what you're watching as you're watching it. And it got all the way down to the one play, literally one play to decide the whole thing. And we hung on. So I said, I can't wait to see Wetzel. I'm going to wear something purple. The Kings play tonight. And I got the throwback Kings jersey on because the Kings are playing the Maple Leafs tonight. Hopefully that game goes over. We'll get to all the hockey. We'll get to what we saw in review. And then we need one more dream. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. Wetzel, you got to have one more dream, Wetzel. That's all we need. One more dream.
That's it.
And we
one
get
more. We get a reprieve this week in that the picks, for whatever reason, don't have to be in tonight. They're extending it, which I don't necessarily like. It's breaking up our little karma here, the S&W Corporation. We're doing well with this Tuesday night deadline, but for whatever reason, they bumped it to Thursday afternoon. So we got a couple of days to sleep on these decisions that we have to make. Dave and I in first place in the Mark Lawrence contest.
I don't know if I like having more time to think about it. I would rather just, like send it in, Jerome.
Yeah.
Send it home, Jerome. Just put it in, and get it done, and then live with the results. Now we got 2 more days to him and Hall to look at line
2 more
moves.
days.
Oh, this is not good news.
Analyze who's playing, who's not playing. It's just NFL this week, except for the one obviously championship game. But who's going to play, who wants to play, who's not playing. I don't know about this. I tell you what, you're right though, Dave. Yesterday took years off my life. This is the first day, I must say. Yesterday was so aggravating. This is the first day I can remember in a long time I don't have a single bet down tonight yet. I will before the end of the night, hence InGame Live, but I have no bets down tonight because yesterday was so taxing. These head coaches are just idiots. I mean, I don't know what Josh Heupel was trying to prove at the end of the game, running up the score, leading 35-0 with 2 minutes less than 2 minutes left, and he's running a hurry-up offense, throwing the football. Are you kidding me? Up 35-0 as we're sitting on the under 36.5. What are you doing? Poor Iowa, they couldn't get a first down. What are you going to rub it in their faces for? How that team won 10 games this year is a miracle. And then we got the bozo, who I happen to like, DeBoer, whatever the name is, DeBoer, for Washington. Get the kid out of the game, Dave. What are you doing? The guy has been banged up the whole game. Every time they show the poor kid on the sidelines, he's grimacing in pain, and you're not only going to keep him in the game, you're going to hand the ball off to him when you got a great quarterback like Penix Jr.? Are you stupid? I mean, really? Just snap the ball to the quarterback, tell him to move around for 5 seconds, then take a knee, and the ball game is basically done. You're punting with 10 seconds left. Yeah. Do you not know the rules?
A lot of times these end-of-game situations are really tough for coaches, and they don't have anyone in their ear or on the sideline going, wait a second, timeout, coach, hold on, 20 seconds, let's talk about this. I mean, I got a buddy watching the show right now, Nathan. He's a huge Cowboy fan. He just sent me a text. Can you help me understand what happened Saturday night with the Cowboys and the Lions? You want to talk about a guy at the end of the game. The Lions. So I thought he reported. Okay, I thought it was a touchdown. It was a great call, fat guy touchdown. When an offensive lineman catches a touchdown, it should be worth like 10 because it's just more exciting, right?
Right.
He don't get it. There's a penalty. Okay, move it back. Kick the extra point and play overtime. No. We get a makeup call on Dallas, and we get a third opportunity. So he goes for it again. I don't know. I mean, we avoided that landmine, but were you working? Were you watching the game live? What did you think about that game?
Couple of things. One, the last thing ultimately is that's a big loss. Like I had a lot of Lions fans say, what's the difference in Cowboy fans? No. With Philadelphia losing, now Dallas is in a position to win that division. And now they have the same record as Detroit. Yes, which means second round playoff game, Detroit versus Dallas. And where's it going to be now? In Dallas, because you threw that game away. There's Dan Campbell talking like it's an exhibition game. Like, what are you doing? You're not smart. I tell you what, Dave, two things. I don't think he'll ever admit to this. I don't think Campbell knew he could kick the extra point. After the 5-yard penalty, I think he just assumed I tried to go for 2 the first time. I have to go for 2. I bet you. Now, I know he's been in the league a long time, but about 4 weeks ago, I saw John Harbaugh try and challenge a touchdown, and he's been in the league forever. And you don't know you can't challenge touchdowns because they're all under review. So I'm not buying he's been in the league a long time. He knows the rules. I bet you in that penalty, he didn't know he could then kick the extra point. And then 2, he designs a play, Dave. The guy they threw the ball to, they got Amos St. Brown, right? One of the best young wide receivers in the game. They got a great tight end in Laporta. They threw the ball to a guy who had 0 receptions coming into the game the entire year. Not that game. The biggest play of Detroit's season to that point, and they designed the play to throw the ball to a tight end who had no catches heading into that game. That's stupid.
That's a good element of surprise, is it not? I mean, who would have been expecting it? That you throw it to the guy that you've never thrown it to.
You're going to outsmart everybody? Don't outsmart people.
Sometimes they get in that red zone and they outsmart themselves. They outsmart their coaches. They outsmart their personnel. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, it was a big game. And there's a lot of people like my buddy Nate who are betting Cowboys futures now because they're the second choice in the NFC. They're the 2 seed. All they got to do is go just win. They don't have to cover, but they go to Washington and win, which it seems like everybody does. And now they're sitting in the 2 seed. Dallas coming to Vegas for the Super Bowl? Is this possible?
Wow. How big would that be, huh? How huge would that be?
Oh.
NFC and AFC are almost identical. Little quirk with the Dolphins, I figured out. We'll talk about that next.
One of the first states to legalize sports betting, and finally, quietly, legalizing the online portion. And that, of course, is Delaware.
Delaware offered parlay cards through their lottery for years. And the local retailers didn't want to lose that money. They didn't want to lose the guys that were coming in to fill out those parlay cards. And, they're buying some beef jerky and chips on the way out of the store as well.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices. And we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
Right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division favorite.
I don't care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby. The money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I'm laying the 14.5.
And against the number as an underdog this year, meaning when they cover, they went out by beat. There's a very real chance that this Michigan season is the best chance they will have.
Oh, Rocky Top.
Am I just a side better now? I'm right here on Saturday on College Football Today. It's bowl season, baby.
College Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This one was all Colts, 30-13. They win. They cover the one as the favorite. 41.5 just gets up and over.
And when Gardner Minshew plays okay, doesn't hurt his team, the Colts are in a lot of games. Some games always stinks it up and looks really bad. And, I don't know. They're just a tough team for me to figure out. I think I bet 5 Colts games this year and got all 5 of them wrong.
Football Full Circle, only on SportsGrid.
We spent all offseason where the NFL said, hey, just so you guys know, running backs don't matter. If we then this year give the MVP to a running back, the irony. I am disappointed that they lost to FAU because secretly I don't really like this FAU team very much. I don't know. They're just not for me. And now they've completely legitimized the Owls.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Yay, congratulations, but the game was over at that point, so another one of those terrible beats. If you had 3.5, 4, even 4.5, this was a 10-point game until the final closing seconds.
InGame Live, PrimeTime, only on SportsGrid.
SportsGrid, the only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live, prime time here, 12 past the hour. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, until 10 p.m. Eastern time. We'll hit the games here in a second, but we're just touching on the NFL and the crazy weekend that it was and last night. I tell you what, I will say real quickly with the Washington-Texas game, had they lost that game, I mean, wow. I would have felt so bad for that poor kid, but I think this is going to be a lesson learned from a lot of teams. Like, if a player goes down, you know what, other guys? If you're on the field, pick the guy up. They may change that rule, but if they don't, you know what? Pick the guy up. Unless he's dead, pick him up, drag him off the field, keep that clock rolling, because that's not fair for a player to get hurt and then the clock stops. I mean, they're not doing that on purpose, clearly. I don't know what the point is of that. If it's the winning team, why would you do that? I suppose if it was the losing team, you could fake it, but there'd be no reason if you're the losing team to want to kill time. So that's really a dumb rule. And then, it's amazing, Dave, with the NFL, right? AFC East and NFC East are identical. You win the division, you're the number 2 seed. You lose the division, you become a wild card team, which is huge because now that means you have to have 3 road games in order to get to the Super Bowl versus at least 2 home games if you're the number 2 seed. That's how it is with the Dolphins and Bills. Same thing. You win the division, you're the number 2 seed if you're Miami. Little quirk I figured out today, which I'm not too thrilled about as a Dolphin fan. If the Dolphins beat the Bills, if the Dolphins beat the Bills, they win the division, Buffalo could be a wild card team. They would be the last wild card team, which means they would face Miami again. They could face the Buffalo Bills twice because Buffalo loses the head-to-head tiebreaker with the winner of Indianapolis-Houston. So Indianapolis-Houston winner will be the number 2 wild card team. Buffalo will be the number 3 wild card team and face Miami again. So now Buffalo might not make the playoffs altogether. That they would need Baltimore to lose to or Baltimore to beat Pittsburgh, which could happen. Could happen. And then Jacksonville lose to Tennessee, which is probably not going to happen. So I don't think the Titans are going to beat Jacksonville, but I could see your Steelers losing to Baltimore. So
very
Buffalo
well
would
happen.
then back into the postseason. Yeah, right.
That very well could happen. Baltimore clinched the 1 seed. The road to Vegas via the Super Bowl is going through Baltimore. So, listen, they looked as good as they could have looked. Scott, I was thinking of all you and a bunch of other Dolphin fans that I know going, boy, oh boy, Like, why do they keep trying to score? Enough is enough. What if they meet this team again, in the AFC Championship? Let's hope that Miami was taking notes to that whole situation and said, after the game, the easy answer for me as a coach would have been like, we're going to be right here again in a month. We're coming back here and we're going to finish this. So I don't know. I felt bad for Miami. I thought Miami was going to be more competitive, and that was not competitive at all.
I'll say this, Dave. I never thought this would be the case. I think Baltimore's road to the Super Bowl is a lot easier than San Fran's road to the Super Bowl. And I happen to still believe in Philadelphia. So, but if I'm San Fran, I'm looking at facing, Dallas, which, I know they've beaten them, but still, Cowboys are good, or Philadelphia. Even a rival team like the LA Rams, who they're going to be extra pumped up for. And I was impressed with that Detroit team. So that's not going to be easy compared to Baltimore. Who are they losing to? This Kansas City team is not any good. They annihilated Miami, right? No fear in that. No fear in the AFC South winner. People tell me maybe the Cleveland Browns, but
yes,
they may not even face the Browns. I mean, are the Browns with Joe Flacco? I mean, it would be a great story, right? Flacco beating his former team. But I'd much rather have Baltimore's run. And I never said that during the course of the year, but I think Baltimore's got an easier road to the Super Bowl than San Fran.
Listen, Baltimore's road, if Miami can win that game at home on Sunday,
right,
could be the Pittsburgh Steelers if they get in. If it's not the Steelers as that bottom seed, it could be the Buffalo Bills, and then it could be the Cleveland Browns. The Browns can beat them. I mean, it could be an AFC North road. The AFC North battles. I mean, the Steelers beat the Ravens already once this season. I think the Browns did. Did the Browns win one of those games too?
Yeah.
I think that's two of their losses, right? Yeah. So I don't know if it's easier. I know it sounds easier, but if it's those teams, I mean, whoever's playing the AFC South team, that's who they want to play, right? I don't know what you're going to get, whether you get Jacksonville, whether you get Indy or Houston. We'll know Saturday which one of those teams is gone, and then Jacksonville has to win on Sunday. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a bargain. I don't know if that's good, but you're right. As far as division winners, who would have thought, I don't know, a month and a half ago, that of all the teams, you'd probably want to play Kansas City. And they're not playing anybody this week. Did you see the lines for this week? Chargers are 3-point favorites.
Yeah. I'll ask you this. I think I know the answer, but, just the same. If you're the Dolphins, would you rather face, if they lose to Buffalo, they face Kansas City in the first round. Would you rather, and then it's going to be road games from there on out, but still, would you rather lose the division and face Kansas City in the first round, or win the division and face Buffalo again, maybe, or even Pittsburgh, or one of those two teams in the first round at home, and then get a second home game? But I don't think they're beating Buffalo twice. Yeah,
I want to win the game Sunday. I want to be at home and have everybody come down to Florida in January. Yes, I would much rather have that than have to go on the road, because I've seen this show on the road. It hasn't been impressive. It's just not good, And I actually saw a clip today. I retweeted it at SportsGrid Cake and Sig about the Dolphins game against the Chargers in the playoffs in 1982, when I
remember it.
The hook and lateral play was
great play,
done to perfection. It was Don Strock to Durio Harris to Tony Nathan. Don Criqui was on the call. I watched it, I don't know, maybe 48 times today because it was perfect. And I remember that game thinking that was the greatest play I've ever seen. But two, this game was one of the greatest games I've ever seen. And then it was in Miami. So I think we could get a game like that in Miami as opposed to Miami going on the road. I don't want to see that, Scott. I don't. Yeah. I just don't. No.
I tell you, two things. You'll never convince me. What's his face here? The tight end wasn't doing a little something, or he was faking. Right? This poor guy was limping off the football field, and all of a sudden,
Kellen
2 seconds
Winslow?
later, Kellen Winslow. Yeah, thank you. 2 seconds later, he's running on the field like he's Bruce Jenner. I'm like, really? And then Andre Franklin. That's the main goat. Dolphins have the ball up 7 with about, I forget, 3-4 minutes left or so, 5 minutes left maybe. Deep inside San Diego territory. All you do is you kick the field goal, you up 10, ball game over, and he fumbles the ball. And the Chargers go down and score. I remember it well, Dave. Yes, I do. One of the worst losses. As a sports fan, Mets, Red Sox will always be number one, but that one is a close second. That was tough. That was a tough.
Yeah. And, that was a young Wetzel. And those young ones, when you're young, they hurt. They actually physically pain. When we get older, it's just like losing a bet. Just done with it.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't worry. But one leaves a mark right there.
Yeah. Right there. Back after this.
One of the first states to legalize sports betting, and finally, quietly, legalizing the online portion. And that, of course, is Delaware.
Delaware offered parlay cards through their lottery for years. And the local retailers didn't want to lose that money. They didn't want to lose the guys that were coming in to fill out those parlay cards, and they're buying some beef jerky and chips on the way out of the store as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run, run, run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
Right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division favorite.
I don't care if they win, because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I'm laying the 14.5. And against the number as an underdog this year, meaning when they cover, they went out by beat. There's a very real chance that this Michigan season is the best chance they will have.
Oh, Rocky Top, Tennessee.
So, am I just a side better now? I'm right here on Saturday on College Football Today. It's bowl season, baby.
College Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This one was all Colts, 30-13. They win. They cover the one as the favorite. 41.5 just gets up and over.
And when Gardner Minshew plays okay, doesn't hurt his team, the Colts are in a lot of games. Some games though he stinks it up and looks really bad. And, I don't know. They're just a tough team for me to figure out. I think I've bet 5 Colts games this year and got all 5 of them wrong.
Football Full Circle, only on SportsGrid.
We spent all offseason where the NFL said, hey, just so you guys know, running backs don't matter. If we then this year give the MVP to a running back, the irony. I am disappointed that they lost to FAU because secretly I don't really like this FAU team very much. I don't know. They're just not for me. And now they've completely legitimized the Owls.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Yay, congratulations, but the game was over at that point, so another one of those terrible beats. If you had 3.5, 4, even 4.5, this was a 10-point game until the final closing seconds.
InGame Live, PrimeTime, only on SportsGrid.
SportsGrid, the only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, prime time here. 25 past the hour. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. We're looking at some of the games that we'll get to here that are underway. And then some of those, we had our same game parlay coming up, the Wetzel Black Cloud as well. But just talking on the NFL, which you can never do too much of, Dave. You said it there. Some of these lines, it's wacky, right? I mean, you really got to do your research this week to figure out who's playing. And then to figure out, even if you're not playing, are you motivated to play? Like, I happen to think Baltimore will be motivated to play. That's a great rivalry, and I can't help but think that while the Stars aren't going to play, the motivation to keep Pittsburgh out of the postseason will be there. So I like that 3.5. They got Cleveland getting 6 at Cincinnati. I know the Browns probably won't be playing Flacco, but, 6 maybe the one that jumps off the page is Jacksonville laying 5.5 at Tennessee. The Titans stink, right? Jacksonville needs to win to make the playoffs.
That? Oh, boy.
Well,
I didn't think that would make the card. No, I don't want to even touch that game. I'm not confident in that game at all. No, that's one of those ones. Again, Jacksonville did what they had to do this past weekend, and that's fine. They were playing the Panthers. Maybe they do it again. Maybe they do it again against a team that I don't want to say is the same as the Panthers, but there's a lot of people making business decisions for the Titans. Less tackling. Let's get out of here injury free. Let's do the postseason exit interview and we're gone. So maybe I guess I could be coerced into that. There's a couple games though. Like what about the Saints? I thought the Saints at home against the Atlanta Falcons. That's a team that's done. Yeah. That's a team that's done.
That's them. 3.5.
Ooh.
How about an over-under? There is an over-under. Let me see if you could pick it out. There's an over-under to me that really looks pretty good. Yeah. Doesn't look normal. Not like way
NFL
normal,
total? Let's see.
Yeah, NFL total. I'm thinking it should be about 3 points or so higher than what it is.
Really?
The way these teams have been playing. Yeah. Late game. About a 50-50 split this week. Got 6 early games and about 7 or so late games.
What, Seattle and Arizona?
No, that's not bad either, but no.
Philadelphia and the Giants again in round 2?
That's it? That's the one. That's the one. 41.5. The way that Eagles defense has been playing, and we got Tyrod Taylor playing, so the offense is respectable. Giants haven't quit for sure. Philadelphia's going to be all pumped up. Giants defense blows. 41.5. What they play the other day? 35-30 or whatever it was?
Yeah.
It's not going to get to 42. Right?
We got to look at the weather. It's supposed to be a big weather thing coming you guys' way for the weekend.
Really?
A whole Northeast, even down to Baltimore, and even down to even possibly, the Carolinas. Like this thing could hit one of those nor'easters or whatever that term is. So, Washington.
Every time you think you have an angle,
weather.
there's always something.
There's always
every
something.
time you got
There's always
something. There's always something. How about under Saints Falcons 42.5?
Yeah.
Why is that 40? That game 42. But that Falcon offense, as bad as it is, and they've given up now, they're out of it. That's going to get to 43 points. 43. 23-20 is not a lot, obviously, but hey, playing
that's
unders.
The hook. That's that's probably not a bad play. Now that I'm looking at it, that's probably one of the ones. We can't pick Buffalo, Miami. You have enough riding on that as a fan, right? We don't like that.
How about the Bills as favorites there, Dave? Contest. How about that? Buffalo was a 3-point road favorite. That's amazing.
Now, a lot of the narratives that I think you'll hear, and again, it's Tuesday. It feels like a Monday, but we had off Monday for New Year's, is that Miami, once they got down to Baltimore, said our real game is next week. Our real game is next week. All we have to do is win that game next week. We're the 2 seed. We're good. and they're getting 3 now. The look ahead on this was the other way, was Miami minus 2.5, and it flipped all the way around. So, I don't know. Scott, a lot of people that I respect, I'm telling you, they love this Bills team. Don't let them in. Don't let them in, because they're just going to come barging through the door, just like, Bum Phillips used to say back in the day with the Oilers. Again, these are old guy references, but they're good ones. Look it up. We're barging through the door. He said, I'm not knocking on the door. We're barging through the door. Love you, Blue. And they just couldn't get over the hump of the Steelers. But this is the way Buffalo's coming in. They're coming in with Bills Mafia, the Herd, Josh Allen, the whole crew. I can't wait for that game. They did the right thing moving that to Sunday night. That's a huge, huge game with everything at stake. You can still bet the division. There's 4 division bets still up in the NFL in the last week of the season. Usually we've graded most of them by now on the book. And we got 4 that are legitimately up for, to be decided this weekend.
That's right. Yeah, 2 in each division. Yeah, good old Bum Phil. I remember that. It was after a Pittsburgh playoff loss. Something to the effect of, last year we approached the door. This year we knocked on the door. Next year we're going to kick the son of a bitch down.
That's what he said.
Great.
I didn't know if we could say that. That's what he said.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah. That was it. That was the 1979 AFC Championship. Renfro caught the ball in the end zone. The refs, there was no review. He caught that ball. I watched it 100 times. They said he's out of bounds. I couldn't believe it. I remember saying to my grandmother, Nani, he's in. And she said, no, he's not. They're not. He's out. That's it. I said, okay. And the Steelers won. They ended up winning the Super Bowl in Pasadena in the Rose Bowl. Jack Ham was my next door neighbor. They had a party that night at his house. I got to see a bunch of the Steelers. Elsie Greenwood knocked on my door in a full-length mink coat. I'll never forget it. I stayed up all night watching these guys come and go. And I had a great time. But I remember Bum Phillips because I thought, one, those uniforms are the nicest uniforms I've ever seen. Love those baby blues. And secretly, Dan Pastorini had a great name, was an Italian guy playing quarterback. I mean, that was awesome. And Earl Campbell was, at that time, I thought the best running back I've ever seen. I remember being a little kid going, how does anybody tackle him? How in the world do you tackle Earl Campbell? Because he had thighs like tree trunks. Guys bounced off him. And, oh, by the way, he could beat you in a race. The guy was unbelievable.
Yeah. And he had those huge shoulder pads. Like back in the 70s, early, they had those big. I love those things. Like those huge shoulder pads that make him look even 10 times bigger than what he was, which he was big anyway. And you're right. And I remember as a Dolphin fan, they played the Dolphins on Monday night. I don't know if it was that year, but one of the years, obviously, when he was playing. And he just, I think it was Lyle Blackwood. He ran him over, gave him a stiff arm. It's one of the all-time great Monday night highlights. And just barreled the poor guy over, and down he went another 50 yards for a touchdown. Oh, he was the best. Yeah. Same thing, Dave. I've always said, and I've kind of stuck to my guns, I think he's the best running back I've ever seen. Him or, dare I say it, but OJ. One of those two, Peyton was great, and Dorsett, they're all spectacular, but I always put those two at the top for me.
There's a couple. Those are good ones. Earl Campbell in his prime. I can't think of too many better. A little bit later, obviously, Bo Jackson, when he was healthy, did stuff on a football field that I just couldn't believe was happening. But back in the days of the Earl Campbell, Tony Dorsett days, Billy Sims, if he would have stayed healthy, was one of the best of all time until he blew his knee out. And then Barry Sanders, Scott. We have to acknowledge that Barry Sanders was legitimately, what he did and how he did it was so different. He wasn't really running guys over, but he did those jump steps, and he had those big shoulder pads too. I miss the big shoulder pads. The big shoulder pads on offense were a big thing. And I know when you played, you could hear yourself running. They could hear you coming from a mile away. They clicked and clacked. How about on defense? The guys with the neck roll. We need to bring the neck roll back.
Yes.
Right?
Ted Hendricks, the stork. Yeah, the neck roll. It made you look tougher. Didn't it? It just made you look like a
question.
real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did they ever get rid of that?
I'm going to send Jack a picture. We can see if we can get it up next segment.
Those big white forearm pads. Remember the
best.
Yeah, right. You put that.
I had
the
them,
neck thing. Yeah.
I had them. My 11-year-old football team. I'm going to send him the picture. My buddy sent it to me. I'll let you try to pick out which one as an 11-year-old on the 15 guys on the team. We played both ways. We were Ironmen back then. Most of the kids played both ways. But yeah, you'll be able to find me pretty easily after that discussion. The neck roll was the coolest thing ever. Yeah.
Yeah. You just felt cool. You know, you could be the worst football player, and you just felt like that's cool. You put the neck roll on, and then the forearm pads. Oh yeah, that was a football player. That was football. Those things.
Yeah. Now they wear nothing. Like they don't even wear knee pads.
Yeah.
They don't have thigh pads.
They really don't.
Nothing. I can't believe it. I don't know how
they wonder why they get hurt. Yeah.
Right?
Because it's all about speed now. It's all about speed. It slows you down a little bit. And then for the defensive guys, don't wear that stuff because then the offensive lineman can grab you. So you wear next to nothing now. So, all right, we'll check the hockey and NBA when we come back for sure.
One of the first states to legalize sports betting and finally, quietly, legalizing the online portion. And that, of course, is Delaware.
Delaware offered parlay cards through their lottery for years. And the local retailers didn't want to lose that money. They didn't want to lose the guys that were coming in to fill out those parlay cards. And, they're buying some beef jerky and chips on the way out of the store as well.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
Right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division favorite.
I don't care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby. The money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I'm laying the 14.5. And against the number as an underdog this year, meaning when they cover, they went out by beat. There's a very real chance that this Michigan season is the best chance they will have.
Oh, Rocky Top, Tennessee.
So, am I just a side better now? I'm right here on Saturday on College Football Today. It's bowl season, baby.
College Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This one was all Colts, 30-13. They win. They cover the one as the favorite. 41.5 just gets up and over.
And when Gardner Minshew plays okay, doesn't hurt his team, the Colts are in a lot of games. Some games though he stinks it up and looks really bad. And, I don't know. They're just a tough team for me to figure out. I think I've bet 5 Colts games this year and got all 5 of them wrong.
Football Full Circle. Only on SportsGrid.
We spent all offseason where the NFL said, hey, just so you guys know, running backs don't matter. If we then this year give the MVP to a running back, the irony. I am disappointed that they lost to FAU because secretly I don't really like this FAU team very much. I don't know. They're just not for me. And now they've completely legitimized the Owls.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Yay, congratulations, but the game was over at that point, so another one of those terrible beats. If you had 3.5, 4, even 4.5, this was a 10-point game until the final closing seconds.
InGame Live, PrimeTime. Only on SportsGrid.
SportsGrid, the only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
welcome back. In-game live, prime time, hour number one. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, doing a little reminiscing here. A relatively light night, but actually a full slate of hockey games here, Dave. So let's delve into that. 40 past the hour. Got a number of games going on. We got our same game parlay coming up here in a little while. We got my Bruins just scored, so they took a 2-1 lead over Columbus. Third period in a game that shouldn't really be this close, but it is. I see Carolina's leading the Rangers. Jackson trouble 3-1 now. Carolina's leading. Washington's leading your Penguins 4-1. Not looking good there. Tampa Bay 1's dip over Winnipeg. And the one I kind of liked tonight was Dallas. Put them in the regulation, and they're down 2-1 to Montreal. So what's on the hockey board that you like?
Well, I mean, the game later, obviously, I'm wearing the Kings stuff because I like the Kings against the Maple Leafs. That's kind of like that game over, too. But early, wasn't much of anything. Boston against against Columbus, I thought over initially, the way Columbus plays, and Boston's going to get healthy, right? Score 4 minimum, maybe 5. That was a 2-1 game after 2. This is good. I love when we do the shows together because you actually watch the hockey and like hockey, and Jack's a big hockey guy, so we can kind of look at the games and talk. Philadelphia and Edmonton is a really, really interesting game to me. I think Philly's live in that one. Ottawa and Vancouver. What's your first impression of that game?
I was surprised the line was so low. It was only minus 150 this afternoon. And I was like, Vancouver? Really?
Don't tell me this is the Black Cloud. Don't tell me that you've picked the Vancouver Canucks in this game. Oh, all right, good.
I did not. I stayed away. They look too fishy. Right?
There's something up there. We got to have to watch this game, see this game later, whatever. I thought the same thing. You go Vancouver, Ottawa. Minus 170, minus 175, and 6.5 or 7 even. I might even venture 7 in this one. And I see this game and see this total, and I'm like, yeah, either I'm missing something or somebody knows or there's something. I mean, over 6.5, over 30 now, over a quarter market-wise. But it's minus 135. 135 here in Vegas. Something's up. Something's up, Scott.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's the backup goaltender, they would still be favored by more than that, right? I mean, yeah, that's got you know what written all over. There was one in college basketball tonight. Like I said, I didn't play anything today. I realized I was just so emotionally drained. Buffalo was playing at Central Michigan tonight, right? I was after yesterday. I was just like. So, yeah, Buffalo's at Central Michigan, right? And Central Michigan isn't any good. They're 5-7. But Buffalo was 1-11, and their only win was literally against Topeka High. It was like a Division 5 team. I mean, they beat nobody, and it was Central Michigan laying only 1. I don't even know how the game turned out, but that was another one that just it pushed me to the edge of I better not bet tonight. I better, let me wait till the in-game live because this is when they get back at you, after having a couple of winners yesterday.
I didn't see that one coming. You hit me with that game. I didn't think that, what was it, Buffalo and Central Michigan? I didn't have that one on the bingo card to actually pay attention to. So
nobody else
I
did
apologize.
either.
Yeah, I apologize for not knowing. How about this one? So there's a game
Buffalo
today.
is winning. Look at that.
No.
Buffalo is winning 66-57. Now, how the heck do the boys in Vegas know that Buffalo is going to win? They have their only win, Dave, was against Robert Wesleyan. I don't know what the fudge Robert Wesleyan is. Like I said, it might be a high school team as far as I know.
I didn't even know they had a team.
That's their only win. 1-11. And they went on the road tonight, and they're going to win as 1-point underdogs. Somebody knows.
You got to be very leery. This is when it starts, right? College football's done. We got one more game. It's all about the college basketball. You got to find lines like that. I mean, Duke's playing Syracuse tonight. That's a big game as far as interest maybe, but that's not really a competitive game. 14.5-point spread, 150.5 for the total. Duke's going to walk all over them. What do you call them? The Dookie Pukies? That's what you call them, right?
Dookie Pukies.
Yeah. How about this one? I saw this morning. I said, I'm going to ask Wetzel about this because I didn't know they had a team. You're talking about Robert Wesleyan having a team and playing Buffalo. UNLV had to play. Somebody had to cancel a game or something, couldn't get it. I don't know. But they're playing today. They already played. I didn't see the score. UNLV was a 54.5-point favorite against Bethesda. 157.5 was the total. 54.5. I've never seen that high of a total or a side for a game. Now, Topeka High, I think, would be getting less points. Come on.
I'll give you one guess how much they won by. What was it? 54.5 was the line?
54.5 was the number. My good friend Jeff Sherman down at the Westgate tweeted it this morning, and I tweeted back at him. What a number. I don't know how you came up with that one. I'll say they won by 60.
56. It was basically right on the
number.
Are
you serious? What was 56. The total? What was the total?
168.
Okay.
112.56. So 168.
Okay. He had 157.5 for the total. So it went over the total.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
By 1 point.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's really that's impressive. Like there's an art to this. I mean, for everyone that you get right like that, you got to brag a little bit. Hurt your arm, patting yourself on the back. That's odds maker. That's one of those fist bump things. You're like, hey, good number. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Do you see what's in the preview? Do you see what's in the preview after our discussion? You see what's in the preview screen? We're going to have to bring this up.
Very nice.
We're going to have to bring this up. The boys did a great job already getting this up. I mean, for the people at home, this is the 11-year-old Green Tree Eagles, okay? One of my dear friends wished me Happy New Year, and he's one of the kids in the back row. The photographer made us take this picture. We couldn't see. Nobody could see because of the light. They wanted the sun in our face, so all our faces were bright like that, right? But there's
that's why you're all kind of like squinting a little bit.
Everybody's squinting. You can't see nothing.
Yeah.
But we had those fresh uniforms, green pants, the big shoulder pads. After our discussion, I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, yes, I don't have the hair, but I'm in the picture. You see which kid. There's only one kid with a neck roll on that squad. You know who it is.
That's you.
Neck roll.
That's you. Neck roll.
Roll. Yeah. Neck roll. That was big. Yeah. They moved me to offense the next year. They made me play center. I didn't like center, but I was a linebacker that year. I wore that neck roll. Thought I was headed to, the Steelers were just finished winning Super Bowls and stuff. This was the Cliff Stout years, though. Bradshaw got hurt against the Jets. That owner thing, never played another game.
Right.
Steelers weren't ready to replace him. Cliff Stout, Mark Malone. We went through some lean years in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the Cordell could play. I mean, it was the in-between. Mike Kruzek. I'm trying to throw all the names at you. I know you remember. You're the only one that does. But that was
who was the guy? Who was the guy that landed
Brister?
on the Jets? Bubby Brister.
Oh,
Neil O'Donnell. He was pretty good.
Got him to the Super Bowl.
To the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Through those picks, he made Larry Brown, the defensive back, one of the few defensive MVPs of the Super Bowl, threw 2 picks right to him. You could have caught those. I could have caught those. I was going to say Matty G could have caught him, but I don't know how good Matty G's hands are. But they were right there. Steelers lost to the Cowboys. I'm still not over that one. That was a bad loss.
Well, they were big dogs. They were big dogs.
They had the game.
They've actually played better. They played a lot better than what was expected. So.
Oh, they did an onside kick. They got it. That was so. That was the first. Listen, I was very blessed growing up in Pittsburgh and rooting for teams. We didn't lose championships. Once we got there, they won. That was the first one that the Steelers lost. City didn't know what to do. Everybody at home was like, what do? We lost? And I was like you. We were dogs in a game. There was all the bookies were happy. They lost. All people that I knew were booking the
They
games.
must
They
have
were
been
all
killing
very
you.
happy. Huh.
Yeah.
Big one at home. Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't a great Pittsburgh team, right? Neil O'Donnell was your quarterback. Who were the running backs? Not Franco. He was gone.
No, Franco was long gone.
Swan
that
was gone. Those guys were all
all those players were way gone. That was in the 90s, early 90s. It was Barry Foster, Bam Morris. Bam Morris was
pretty good.
He wore the big shoulder pads. He did a lot of running. They were a real ball control team. They played good defense. LaVon Kirkland, Chad Brown. I mean, they had a lot of good defensive players. Rod Woodson. Can't believe that team lost. I'm getting aggravated thinking about that. Talk about the 70s teams when they won.
They were a solid 8 or 9 point dog, though. That wasn't even a close. That was like them facing the Rams. With Vince Ferragamo, vice versa. That was way back as well. But same type of thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
the Rams were leading at halftime. The Rams were leading at halftime of that one. I remember thinking, this can't happen. The Steelers can't lose. I mean, I was mad that they got a home game. I thought, why are they playing this game in Pasadena? That's right by their own stadium. There's a lot of turmoil in that one. But they won that one. And Jack came home, showed us his ring. It was awesome. As a fan, Wetzel, do you think people I'm facing this reality? The Steelers could win on Sunday, have the 2-game parlay come in where Buffalo loses, Jacksonville loses, and the Steelers are in the playoffs. And then they're going to get whacked. I almost rather they just don't get in the playoffs. I hope they win and they don't get in, because they're going to have to go and they're going to get beat. And then you kind of get aggravated with that. Would you rather not get in the playoffs or get in and lose in the first round bad?
I think, in the case of the Steelers, a lot is going to be determined, right? I mean, do they play Kenny Pickett this week? Apparently not, right? I mean, if you get to the postseason and they say, all right, Kenny Pickett has made advances, so we're going to keep him as our starting quarterback next year, then but if they don't get to the postseason, they say, well, we can't do this again. We got to make changes. So they're one of those teams where making the postseason might determine the fate of their quarterback position. And if that's the case, I would say no. Under normal circumstances, I'd probably say, yeah, let me get to the playoffs and live the dream. Even if it's, I'm not going to lose 50-0, but I'd rather get to the postseason and lose, especially when it's not realistic. I don't think you think Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I would have to face that fact. But Roethlisberger's last year, they got that crazy end of the season, and then they were going to Kansas City, and everybody just accepted the fact that they were not going to win and get destroyed. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I think they could win one game.
Yeah, they could. They could.
One of the first states to legalize sports betting, and finally, quietly, legalizing the online portion. And that, of course, is Delaware.
Delaware offered parlay cards through their lottery for years. And the local retailers didn't want to lose that money. They didn't want to lose the guys that were coming in to fill out those parlay cards, and they're buying some beef jerky and chips on the way out of the store as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run, run, run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
So right now he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division
I don't care if they win, because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I'm laying the 14.5. And against the number as an underdog this year, meaning when they cover, they went out by beat. There's a very real chance that this Michigan season is the best chance they will have.
Oh, Rocky Top. Rocket Top, Tennessee.
Am I just a side better now? I'm right here on Saturday on College Football Today. It's bowl season, baby.
College Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This one was all Colts, 30-13. They win. They cover the one as the favorite. 41.5 just gets up and over.
And when Gardner Minshew plays okay, doesn't hurt his team, the Colts are in a lot of games. Some games though he stinks it up and looks really bad. And, I don't know. They're just a tough team for me to figure out. I think I've had 5 Colts games this year and got all 5 of them wrong.
Football Full Circle, only on SportsGrid.
We spent all offseason where the NFL said, hey, just so you guys know, running backs don't matter. If we then this year give the MVP to a running back, the irony. I am disappointed that they lost to FAU because secretly I don't really like this FAU team very much. I don't know. They're just not for me. And now they've completely legitimized the Owls.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Yay, congratulations, but the game was over at that point, so another one of those terrible beats. If you had 3.5, 4, even 4.5, this was a 10-point game until the final closing seconds.
InGame Live, PrimeTime, only on SportsGrid.
SportsGrid, the only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, InGame Live, PrimeTime, wrapping up hour number 1, full hour to go, so don't go anywhere. Just looking at the schedule here, Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. You're really going to be a Dolphins fan this week, Dave. I mean, there's
yes.
Some of the stuff can get complicated, but for Pittsburgh, it's pretty basic. You need to win and either have Buffalo or Jacksonville lose. I really don't think Jacksonville's going to lose, although that's the road game. But other than that, or some goofy ties, which, you can't count on. But those are the 2 most likely scenarios. And I tell you what's amazing is, as bad as the New England Patriots season has been, they're going to cost 2 teams from really making the playoffs. The win against your guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and their win last week against Denver. Those are the 2. Everyone's got these little hiccups on their schedule, but Pittsburgh losing to New England, and then Denver, losing to New England as well. Those are the 2 that just, got to eat at you, right? I mean, those are the ones that just, wow. You win those, and I'll turn that down, and you're in the postseason.
Yeah.
But still got hope.
I lost to New England. The loss to New England came after a loss to Arizona for the Steelers.
Yeah.
I just can't. There was a bad stretch right there where wouldn't change the quarterback. Kenny Pickett was hurt. He was with Mitch. Mitch couldn't do anything, and they struggled. And now, I don't know. Rudolph was excellent again against the Seahawks. It's Saturday.
Why'd
so
they
that's
go
good.
to him? Why did they, all right, maybe one game for Trubisky for some reason, but then go back to him.
That's the thing. It was a short week, and I don't know if they didn't have enough or there wasn't enough support, but they didn't play Rudolph, and it cost them another game. Finally went to him. He looked great. They play Saturday. They win Saturday. I will be fully vested, top to bottom, teal and orange.
Dolphins.
Miami. Everything. Let's go, Dolphins.
Listen, at least you got a shot, right? Miami needs the game, so. All right, second hour coming up.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
back in game live, prime time, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan right here on the grid up until 10 p.m. Eastern time. We got hockey to get to. We got NBA to get to. Touch on a little college basketball to get to as well. And, Dave, we got same-game parlays and black clouds to get to. So
Yes.
why don't we just throw it out there and why don't we start with a little black cloud? How about that? Let's kick off hour number 2. So. All right, I don't know how this one's going to lose. We're going to go to the ice. We got the Detroit Red Wings playing at San Jose. The minute we jumped on the San Jose bandwagon, they started losing. The minute we jumped off them, they started winning. Now we're back against them, and they're hosting the Detroit Red Wings tonight. Now, I'm not going to lay the minus almost 2-1 on Detroit. Can't do that. But I will take the Detroit Red Wings in regulation. I love these regulation bets. They whack it by a good 60 to 75 points. So Detroit to win in regulation, minus 125. San Jose stinks, right? I mean, we knew that. They had a nice little run. And Detroit's not great, I'll admit that. But they are 7-10 on the road. They're not horrible on the road. So San Jose's lost 8 straight games. All of them in regulation. I mean, what are the chances, Dave, of the San Jose Sharks snapping an 8-game losing streak on the night we're finally going back against them? Give me Detroit minus the 125 as the best play of the night.
I had to get my rain hat on just in case, like, the storm comes. I've seen the power. I've seen what you've done with teams that cannot lose. I've seen what you've done with losing streaks. This one seems way too easy, Wetzel.
Yeah.
But the forecast is for thunderstorms in San Jose. The forecast is for probably a deficit for the Red Wings. I think I would bet San Jose Sharks to score first based on the black cloud play of the night. The Sharks will probably be up 1-0 within, I would think I would bet a goal in the first 10 minutes. That San Jose will not only score the first goal, but they'll score it in the first 10 minutes. This is going to take one of those efforts. We need something to happen like Pedro Serrano when he couldn't hit the curveball in the movie Major League. We're going to need a live chicken. We're going to need something to shake this streak. I'm telling you. I've seen it before. Wings should win easy. You know it won't. I hope it does, but you know it won't.
Yeah. I've probably bet about 20 San Jose games, and I think I'm literally like 3-17. I really, whether it's winning or losing or, whatever, obviously the case may be. 8 straight, and they're not even, again, like before, they're not coming close. 3-1, 5-0, 5-1, 7-4, 5-2, 4-1, 6-2. They have one goal loss. That was the first one against Arizona, 1-0. I mean, I'm not even asking to win by 2. I'm not even going to do that. No. I'm just going to say just win a regulation, right? I mean, they can't miss. Can't miss.
We have Cam coming on later.
I got one more for you, and I didn't even realize this. They beat Detroit. They beat Detroit December 7th in Detroit. So the stinking Red Wings team, if they have any pride whatsoever, has got to be saying to themselves, we can't lose twice. They can't be going into this game taking them for granted. They got to have a little chip on their shoulder, right? Oh, this is a must play. I'm going to triple down. Forget double down. I'm triple down in the bet.
See, this is what happens. We have Cam coming on later, and Cam's going to come on probably and tell us that, he's looking at dumpster diving, bad team. San Jose's the play, plus a goal and a half. So hopefully Detroit can win. I almost want to bet, will there be overtime? Yes. This is going to be a sweat all the way on your train ride home tonight. You're going to get home. The game's still going to be going on. Probably down 3-2 in the third. You're going to have to get a goal to tie it. It's going to be a sweat. I already know. Everything points to Detroit winning 5-1. But now the Wetzel Black Cloud play of the night, and now you want to double down, triple down. We're in big trouble. So
our producer says that Detroit blew a 5-1 lead in that game as well. 5-1. If they don't come out flying tonight, then just fire the head coach. Just
give the people the SGP, please. Just change the subject. Give the people the SGP. Get that.
All right, that's one. Time for a little same game parlay. Now this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piecer, and it's going to show how powerful the boys in Vegas are. Because I've said we should be betting against Golden State from here on out. I don't think they're any good. They're under 500. And I know the lines are going to be a little enticing and this and that, but you should still bet against them. That said, I'm betting on them tonight. They're at home against Orlando. Orlando, the stinking Magic. Can you name a couple of players outside of Pablo Banchero on the Orlando Magic? No, nobody can. Kevin Walsh can't even. Coach can't even. Golden State at home laying 3. All right, we'll start there. Steph Curry, 25 or more points. He's off back-to-back bad outings. I put the black cloud on him last time out, too. 25 or more, minus 260. Curry, 4 assists. He gets that in his sleep, minus 290. Klay Thompson, 3 made threes, minus 160. He should be able to get that, all right, against Orlando. And then we'll use one Magic player just to bump the odds up. Banchero, their best player, to get 20 points or more. That's minus 310. And a little 5-piece parlay, same-game parlay pays plus 523 when I put it in this afternoon. So figure about 5 to 1. What do you think?
I'm trying to figure out which one or two gets you. I think you got – I mean, it's not the worst play in the world. I'm trying to actually name – more than 2 guys on Orlando, too. Is Mo Wagner or Wagner, or however you say, he's on Orlando, right? I think he is.
He might be. He's bounced around the league. Yeah, he might be. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's one.
Let's see. Is another Wagner on there? Hans and Franz? Yeah, okay.
Same family. That doesn't count. It's
the brothers. One Mo. And Cole Anthony. How about that? Cole Anthony to go with Banchero.
Very nice.
So that's the only ones I got. That's it. I knew the brothers.
That's enough.
That's it. That's all I got. You like the game to go over or under?
Over. I think we're going to get a monster effort out of Golden State.
Okay. Yeah. So 230, 230 and a half. If you like over, you're on the right props for that. That seems low. What's we doing? This might be an underplay.
Yeah, Orlando can play some decent defense.
Right.
But no, I don't think anyone goes to Golden State and plays defense, though. I like the over.
One of the first states to legalize sports betting, and finally, quietly, legalizing the online portion. And that, of course, is Delaware.
Delaware offered parlay cards through their lottery for years. And the local retailers didn't want to lose that money. They didn't want to lose the guys that were coming in to fill out those parlay cards. And, they're buying some beef jerky and chips on the way out of the store as well.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
So right now, we saw a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division favorite.
I don't care if they win, because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I'm laying the 14.5. And against the number as an underdog this year, meaning when they cover, they went out by beat. There's a very real chance that this Michigan season is the best chance they will have.
Oh, Rocky Top, Tennessee.
So, am I just a side better now? I'm right here on Saturday on College Football Today. It's bowl season, baby.
College Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This one was all Colts, 30-13. They win. They cover the one as the favorite. 41.5 just gets up and over.
And when Gardner Minshew plays okay, doesn't hurt his team, the Colts are in a lot of games. There are some games though he stinks it up and looks really bad. And, I don't know. They're just a tough team for me to figure out. I think I bet, like I said, I think I bet 5 Colts games this year and got all 5 of them wrong.
Football Full Circle, only on SportsGrid.
We spent all offseason where the NFL said, hey, just so you guys know, running backs don't matter. If we then this year give the MVP to a running back, the irony. I am disappointed that they lost to FAU because secretly I don't really like this FAU team very much. I don't know. They're just not for me. And now they've completely legitimized the Owls.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Yay, congratulations, but the game was over at that point, so another one of those terrible beats. If you had 3.5, 4, even 4.5, this was a 10-point game until the final closing seconds.
InGame Live, PrimeTime, only on SportsGrid.
SportsGrid, the only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to InGame Live, Primetime, hour number 2. We got Cam Stewart joining us here in a little while. It'll be me and David for the next 48 minutes or so. Got a bunch of hockey games here, Dave, that are starting, so let's run them down, see if anything strikes your fancy. You got Florida looking for its 5th straight win at Arizona, just underway. Florida's about a minus 175, a little pricey. The Coyotes not too bad. I did like Florida, but I wasn't going to lay that price. So I'll see, hopefully Arizona can grab a 1-0 lead and maybe get the Panthers at the pick-up there. Any thoughts on that one before we move to the others?
I kind of like Arizona there. I thought that was a little high price like you're thinking. What about Philly and Edmonton? You never said anything before. That was a tremendous talk about
Under?
throwbacks. How do you bet under in Edmonton games? That's the hard part, right?
How do you bet over in Flyer games, right? It's kind of like Edmonton in the over parlay or Philadelphia in the under parlay, right?
That's the correlation. I think if you like Philly, you like the under. If you like Edmonton, you like the over. I'm leaning Philly in the under. Do you remember that Stanley Cup final?
Yes.
The Hex
sweep, but it was close. Yeah.
Oh, what a Stanley Cup. What a run for the Flyers and Hextall. I'll never forget that one. He won the Conn Smythe on a losing team. That's incredible. That doesn't happen very often. But that's what this
Super
one
nice
reminds
guy.
me of. Yeah?
Real nice guy, by the way. When he was with the Islanders, I was still covering the Islanders back then and doing their pre- and post-game and in-between show. Really, it's a really nice guy. Always
That's
accommodating, win, lose, draw. Yeah, he was pretty nice.
Hockey
which,
players are
when
the
you
best.
Yeah, they generally are. It's rare when you got a bad hockey player, but just always viewed as like the villain, whether it's with the Rangers or the Devils or with the Islanders, Hextall. But then you finally meet some of these guys like, oh, he's a pretty nice guy, not bad. But I'm going to go with Philadelphia in the under.
What about the Islanders tonight? I looked at that game and I was like,
Colorado.
Oh, it's Colorado or nothing. I think I don't want anything to do with the Islanders in that spot. So, over there too. When I looked at the total, thought, all right, I'll play over 6 in that game. That would be the side I would lean to, but nothing strong.
This is where you, I wouldn't do it just because of the price, but this is where you do the 60-minute line stuff. You get Colorado 2-1 in the game, or to win in 60 minutes minus 130. Much more affordable.
Yes.
And I always have people, Dave, we talked about this. People say, well, what happens if they win in overtime? You know what? I'm okay with that. I really am, because I don't think Colorado's going to win in overtime. I think they're going to win in regulation. That's why I'm betting them. I wouldn't bet a team that I think is going to win in overtime. So if they do happen to go to overtime, I just view that as a loss. And I'm like, they didn't win, even if they do end up winning. So
correct.
I really do like those minus 130 prices for a
I
2-1
do
favorite.
You actually started talking about them, having me even start to look at them because I never really put those up. Those came in after I got out of being in the risk room, and they've become very popular to avoid the juice on the money line. Plus, if people ask, "Are you okay with it?" Listen, I don't win overtime games. When I have a team, my record in shootouts is so bad. I know I'm done. So now you save me the aggravation. I bet it, in regulation. It goes to overtime. I can just turn it off. I don't even need to watch it. I'm like, well, I lost, so I don't need to see what happens because most of the time, if you come with an in-game bet right then, would you do this? You have them to win in regulation. It goes to overtime. You've lost your bet. Would you make another bet on that team to win it? Because, they got you the first time. So, I'm going to come back on it. Or would you not do it?
No, I don't. I wouldn't do it. I'm pretty good at not doubling down on my losses. To me, it would be a losing bet. And I'm so mad at them for not winning in regulation, whoever it may be. To be doubly mad, if I want to be doubly mad, I'll talk to the wife. So, no, I just move on.
Oh.
It's a loss. Yeah. And you generally have to lay odds in that anyway. Even if it does go to overtime, it won't be 2-1.
It's shorter.
You know what I'd like to know? Yeah. I'd like to know the record of 2-1 favorites in regulation. How many times does that team win in overtime versus just winning in regulation or just losing in regulation? Or overtime, for that matter. That would
find
be
that
good.
out. I wanted to ask you because we didn't. We were talking and reminiscing. We've been having one of those shows where we kind of just do that, and something thought provokes another thought. Where did you watch the games yesterday? Were you at home or were you out? Because that Iowa game, between the agita and the getting it close to the total, and then us having a good number in the contest, and were you around everybody or were you alone in isolation watching that game?
I was alone in isolation. I was in my office watching the game. And I got to tell you, every time, Dave, I thought, okay, you know what? We're safe. We're really safe here. It took one play before the kid threw the interception to pick six. It was 14-0 midway through the third. And I said, even if Iowa doesn't score here, the way they're moving the ball, we'll run the ball a couple times and taking their sweet time, we'll probably get this down to around 2-3 minutes left in the third quarter. We'll really be safe. Third quarter. And the very next play, pick six, now it's 21-0. And I'm like, I got to worry again. And then in the fourth quarter, same thing. It was about 10 minutes left. I said, we just get this to around 6 minutes. We got 2 touchdowns to give. We'll be safe. And then Tennessee goes down the field, 3 plays, 80 yards for a touchdown. It's like, So, yeah, but I stayed by myself. I had to. And you know what I was waiting, as I texted you, with that second game, we were getting 4.5 with Washington. So seemingly we were okay. But it's us. It's me specifically, I should say. I bring the black cloud to the S&W Corporation. I know what would have happened. Texas would have scored. They would have missed the extra point, and then they would have won by 6 or 7 in overtime. And there we are sitting with Washington plus 4.5. That's
curse you for even thinking that. That's what you were thinking?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yes.
Oh, you've been beaten down by this whole life and business by too long.
Yes.
Because I thought we were good the whole time. I was just worried about the money line bets that Washington had. And then, futures, I got a ticket on them to win it all. I think I got it before the Pac-12 championship game. I think it was 7-1.
Nice.
I haven't even looked. So I just want that to get to the last game.
Right.
And you're thinking they're going to miss the extra point and tie and not even cover the spread for the contest.
Yeah.
See, you got to get that out of you. We got to get those negative thoughts out of your head, Wetzel. What are you doing? I got to talk to the wife. I'm coming back there in a couple of weeks. We're going to see if we can get you out of the house a little bit, and we'll iron all these details out. So yeah, we'll get it all worked out.
I got pains. I got sores. I got scars, rather. I definitely have scars, yeah. That's why you give me the mind of a gambler versus the mind of the head coach. I'll take the mind of the gambler 20 times over. 20 times over.
Every time.
He knew. Once that kid, got injured, it's just like I kept on saying, get him out of the game. Why are you giving him the ball? The guy is going to get hurt, and you're going to stop the clock.
Yeah.
So the mind of the gambler is going through all this stuff where the head coach is like, oh, dude, he got hurt. I feel bad for him. Dopey.
He's trying to win a game.
Take a knee. Take a knee then. Just take a knee. If you can't punt the ball with 15 seconds left, if you can't stop them from going 90 yards in 10 seconds, then you don't deserve to win. Why are you handing the ball off, Dave? It didn't make any sense. Forget about you handing the ball off to a poor guy who couldn't walk. Well, why would you not just take a knee there or give it to the quarterback, dance around a little bit, and then drop it? Why would you risk having them grab the ball out of your running back's hands? You know what it reminded me of? Said this on our podcast. Billy Buckner. Billy Buckner.
One of the first states to legalize sports betting, and finally, quietly, legalizing the online portion, and that, of course, is Delaware.
Delaware offered parlay cards through their lottery for years, and the local retailers didn't want to lose that money. They didn't want to lose the guys that were coming in to fill out those parlay cards, and they're buying some beef jerky and chips on the way out of the store as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
Right now, we saw a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division
I
favorite.
don't care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby. The money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I'm laying the 14.5. And against the number as an underdog this year, meaning when they cover, they went out by beat. There's a very real chance that this Michigan season is the best chance they will have.
Oh, Rocky Top, Tennessee.
So, am I just a side better now? I'm right here on Saturday on College Football Today. It's bowl season, baby.
College Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This one was all Colts, 30-13. They win. They cover the one as the favorite. 41.5 just gets up and over.
And when Gardner Minshew plays okay, doesn't hurt his team, the Colts are in a lot of games. Some games though he stinks it up and looks really bad. And, I don't know. They're just a tough team for me to figure out. I think like I said, I bet 5 Colts games this year and got all 5 of them wrong.
Football Full Circle, only on SportsGrid.
We spent all offseason where the NFL said, hey, just so you guys know, running backs don't matter. If we then this year give the MVP to a running back, the irony. I am disappointed that they lost to FAU because secretly I don't really like this FAU team very much. I don't know. They're just not for me. And now they've completely legitimized the Owls.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Yay, congratulations, but the game was over at that point, so another one of those terrible beats. If you had 3.5, 4, even 4.5, this was a 10-point game until the final closing seconds.
InGame Live, PrimeTime, only on SportsGrid.
SportsGrid, the only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, prime time here. Hour number 2. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. Looking at a little NHL, little NBA, some college basketball. Cam Stewart will join us just a couple of moments. Don't forget, follow us on Twitter, at SportsGrid Radio, and at SportsGrid TV. 3 separate feeds. And, of course, don't forget to download the SportsGrid app if you haven't done that. Check out all kind of highlights from the shows. We got predictions, got previews of all the games, all the stats, all the trends, and even some picks as they send out some picks. So feel free to download the SportsGrid app. I do like this play NHL. You don't get this too often, Dave, but it's been a pretty profitable one, and that is over. Boy, that even lowered the vig a little bit. Rangers down 5-1. Carolina did score 2 goals in the period, but early, about less than 3 minutes in. So it's been a while since Carolina scored. We need 1 more goal, and we got 6 minutes left. We could get a goal naturally, or the question is, do the Rangers pull a goaltender down 4 goals? I think they do, and I think they do it with a good solid 3 minutes left, right? I mean, you're down 3 goals or down 4 goals, so. I've been pretty good with that. I'll play the hunch that they do pull the goaltender and either score or we get an empty netter, and I'll go over the 6.5. What do you think?
What's the juice?
Minus 102.
On the
Not
over?
Bad. Yeah, for 1 more goal.
I like under. I'm surprised it's already that. I'm surprised. I thought it would be a bigger plus.
Yeah.
That's that's going to move, in the next minute to 2 minutes. If they don't score, you're going to get plus money. And I know you love the plus money. But, yeah, I think we're looking at the final in this situation. 5-1, unless you get an empty netter, or if they pull the goalie, then you can get another goal. But
that's what I mean. You think they'll pull the goal? I think they will down 4 goals. Because they're at home, and the 5th goal, like I said, came like 15 minutes ago. Not like it came recently. Okay, we're down 3, they scored, game's over. They always give that one last little push, one last, try. Yeah. So,
I mean, unless there's, a felony committed, there's probably not going to be another penalty. So we don't have to worry about a power play. I don't know. I would bet the under. I'd let you bet the over.
Really?
Ask Jack.
Right.
Yeah, Jack. Does Jack think another goal is going to be scored? I mean, Jack was talking about us trying to get on the Rangers. See, Jack said no. I'm going to go with Jack. No goal. I don't think a goal.
But Jack
scored.
was also telling us the Rangers, and they're down 5-1.
I know.
So, no offense, Jack,
happens.
but,
I'm interested in the Penguin total. Look at the Penguin total right now, right? 4-3 after back. 2, right?
Right.
9.5. Overs plus 154. Penguins tie it. We could be 4-4. Good to go. I think we get. I think over. Over's the play.
3 more goals. Giving you a big price too, plus 154.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's not bad. Got a ton of goals. You got the home team that's trailing too, so not that they would ever not, continue to try, but just, theoretically the better team. So Washington
probably going to get a
little
power
bit.
play in the 3rd period too, right? Like next call, a lot of times it'll be, get the home team another goal, get them to tie it up.
You like the over or maybe Pittsburgh plus 190? I actually like the Penguins plus 190 a little bit better, or just as much anyway.
Right. Plus 190 is not bad. I mean, the game
all the
closed.
juice.
Penguins minus 75. So, I mean, 1 goal.
And they scored 2 goals in the second.
Right.
They were down 4-1. So they got all the momentum heading into the 3rd, right?
Yeah. Penguins.
Well, I will say this, Dave. Your Penguin, they are a streaky team. Boy, they get into losing streaks that they couldn't beat Topeka High, and then they get into these winning streaks like they're in now where they could beat like 3 teams in one night.
Does Topeka High have a hockey team? I didn't know Topeka
Very good,
had
underrated
a
hockey team. Yes.
I thought they only had football and basketball at that school. I can't believe they have
Every
enough
once in a
kids
while
to
they
go to
venture.
hockey. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who scored?
Who scored?
Rangers. Carolina. Bam.
Carolina,
There you
yes.
go. Just like
Touchdown.
that. Done.
I bet it was an empty
that.
netter. Was it an empty netter? Not that it matters, Jack, but was it an empty netter? All right.
It's not.
You know.
2 minutes to go.
We judge things on results, not how we got there. 6-1.
They don't ask how. They just ask how many.
Exactly.
That's perfect.
How many?
Yeah. Well, good. That was good.
All right. I'll take those winnings and put it on your Penguins. How about that? Don't want to jinx you there, but I like that.
Islanders Avalanche are already 1-1 in the first period. So that's a good score for hockey. We need another goal there. Get that thing 2-1 after one. Well worth headed our way on the over. And then the Flyers and the Oilers are locked in at 0-0. 5 minutes left. In-game numbers down to 4.5 already.
Wow.
4.5. Moving it very aggressively.
Team.
Man, it's impressive.
Yeah. Let me give you the scores of the Flyers. I'm telling you, they never, ever go over. And I stupidly bet them over. Like, if it's back-to-back or 3 games in 4 nights, this Carter Hart, he must play like 80 of the 82 games. I swear, he plays
like
every single game.
Goalie. Put him in a lot.
Yeah.
That's it. Play. Let's go. You're young. We're playing. Get in there. Make some stops. Keep us in the games. All the above.
All right, they did play 4-3 to Calgary, but that was like 1-1. And then they scored literally 5 goals in the third period. That had no
last
business
game of the
going
road
over.
trip, though, right? That was their last game of the road trip? No,
Yeah.
they're on their still
Well,
on the
this
road.
Edmonton
No,
one will be tonight.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Edmonton tonight will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
2-1 before that, 4-1. They had a crazy 7-6 shootout against Detroit. 4-2 under, 3-2 under, 1-0 under, 4-3, 3-2, 5-2 over, 4-1, 2-1. It's nothing but unders for the most part.
Right.
2 overs sprinkled in there. But, all right, I like that.
Did you look at the
Bruins
NBA at all
again.
today? The Bruins win every night.
I didn't really like the card today. I was ticked off. I played the over Joker last night. He's laid a couple of eggs joking for Denver. They lost their last game, and I thought he'd have like a monster game. And, you know, I've noticed that a couple times with him this year where he just doesn't want to score. He just doesn't even try to score. And last night was one of those games again where I thought he'd go for like 30, 15, and 10. He's not doing that this year. So, wasn't big on it tonight.
This is the championship hangover. That happens.
Yeah.
But the Sixers tonight, we got to give shout out to our other producer, Patrick Foster. Foster nailed the triple-double for Embiid. It was 10-1 or something, 12-1. Sixers win 110-97. Do whatever they need to do to get that done. Memphis home against San Antonio, like Memphis pregame. They're
Did
up.
like that a little.
That's a big number, right? Yeah, they're supposed to cover that number. Celtics in a battle against OKC right now. Does that say 79-72? The Thunder lead? They're small 2.5-point favorites, Wetzel. You jumping in more on the
4.5-point dogs.
on the Celtics?
I'm done on the Celtics. They went to overtime against Detroit. How about that? Pistons win this weekend.
Yeah,
they finally won.
Toronto.
Then they got blasted by Houston, but they beat Toronto.
Yeah, they beat Toronto. They almost beat the Celtics as the biggest underdog of the season. But I was happy for Kate Cunningham and Monty and Piston fans everywhere, so they could stop talking about them. You know, we're still talking about them, looking immediately to fade them the game after they win. And now they go on the road, right? Lost the game. Got blown out in that game. So now we got Utah tomorrow, I believe. I think they're in Utah. Let me double check. Sure. Detroit at Utah. Did you see the line for that game?
No.
What do you think
Jazz
the line is?
7? Jazz 6 or 7?
8.5.
Oof.
8.5. Wow. We'll be
They're not
talking
giving
about
this
that
Pistons
game
team any
tomorrow.
love.
That's too many. I know, but that's too many. They just got blown out by Houston. They come and they play this one a lot closer. Right? No?
If they're 8.5-point dogs at Utah, which admittedly plays better at home, what they're going to be double digits like against anybody halfway decent the rest of the season. Unless they win like 3, 4, 5 in a row. Like no one's.
No.
Even that one against Houston, I kind of, it's funny. This is the one time the line movement, put me in the right direction. I was kind of playing a hunch. I thought, like, you know what, maybe the Pistons have kind of turned things around here a little bit. And then I saw the line go from like 7 to 7.5, and then 8, and then I said, no, it's got to be the Rockets, And then I started thinking about, Detroit talking about how they won a championship, literally, and then I saw it go as high as 9.5, and they got blown out. So
yeah,
that was a winner for me.
Sometimes the best bets you make, or the best bets you have, are the ones you don't make. If that was enough to keep you off of them, that's fine. That's like winning a unit, and then if you play them, it's like winning 2. It's really only winning 1. And when you don't bet it, you don't win anything. But man, sometimes just when you go, I'm just not sure, and you pass, and then it plays out like you thought, you're like, okay, good. Glad I didn't make that bet.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, Cam Stewart will join us next. Let's get some winners from him here on the Grid.
One of the first states to legalize sports betting, and finally, quietly, legalizing the online portion. And that, of course, is Delaware.
Delaware offered parlay cards through their lottery for years. And the local retailers didn't want to lose that money. They didn't want to lose the guys that were coming in to fill out those parlay cards. And, they're buying some beef jerky and chips on the way out of the store as well.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
So right now, we saw a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division
I don't care if they win, because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I'm laying the 14.5. And against the number as an underdog this year, meaning when they cover, they went out by beat. There's a very real chance that this Michigan season is the best chance they will have.
Oh, Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Coach, am I just a side better now? I'm right here on Saturday on College Football Today. It's bowl season, baby.
College Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This one was all Colts, 30-13. They win. They cover the 1 as the favorite. 41.5 just gets up and over.
And when Gardner Minshew plays okay, doesn't hurt his team, the Colts are in a lot of games. Some games though he stinks it up and looks really bad. And I don't know. They're just a tough team for me to figure out. I think I bet, like I said, I think I bet 5 Colts games this year and got all 5 of them wrong.
Football Full Circle, only on SportsGrid.
We spent all offseason where the NFL said, hey, just so you guys know, running backs don't matter. If we then this year give the MVP to a running back, the irony. I am disappointed that they lost to FAU because secretly I don't really like this FAU team very much. I don't know. They're just not for me. And now they've completely legitimized the Owls.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Yay, congratulations, but the game was over at that point, so another one of those terrible beats. If you had 3.5, 4, even 4.5, this was a 10-point game until the final closing seconds.
InGame Live, PrimeTime, only on SportsGrid.
SportsGrid, the only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here. What do we got? 40 past the hour. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, joined by our good buddy who takes over at the top of the hour, along with Gabe Morency, Cam Stewart, who joins us every Tuesday and Wednesday here on the grid. What's going on, Cam? How are you tonight, bud?
Every day, Scott. What are you talking? Just Tuesday, Wednesdays? It's every day.
Oh,
Come
well,
on.
I'm only here. I'm only here Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm not invited Monday, Thursday, Friday.
I know you're refereeing and you're doing other things and taking grief from your family. But anyway, I know. Nice to see you guys. Happy New Year. Can't wait to talk, guys. It was a fantastic holiday season with the garbage picks, Dave, as you know, with the Saints and the Giants and all my other friends in the dumpster really came through with me. So my girlfriend got extra gifts from Cam Santa Claus Stewart. So I will say that. I also bought her a nice bracelet, so I better hit some more winners. Got to keep them coming, Scott. You know how it is. When you buy the ladies' gift, when you're broke, it's like nobody helps you when you're broke. But when you're winning money, hey, I heard you got money. Let's spend it. You want to go for a nice quality steak dinner? Anything for you, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
how
Dave.
about this one? Before we get to the football and the review of Washington winning and Michigan winning and all that other stuff tonight, hockey, right?
Yep.
Wetzel's got a black cloud play of the night, and it looks so easy. And the boys have the graphic. It looks so easy, Cam. You know what's coming. I'm going to let them put it up. I see it in the preview. Put it up so you can see it on the screen, so everybody can see it on the screen.
Black
you know what it is.
Yes.
The man has powers, Cameron. Why are the Red Wings going to win tonight, and why are they not? Please tell them. Tell everybody.
Well, Wetzel, we will say this. I told you, I warned you. I didn't mean to do it, Dave, with SJ Sharkey, but I feel like I'm either the president of the Carolina Panthers. I'll take $300,000 fines. Please, Tep, I wish I had that kind of money. Hey, Tepper, give me some of your dough. But anyway, here's the deal. Detroit, they've been playing pretty good hockey. I expect goals in this game, but you know what, Scott? You were right for a while, and then you got off the path, and then the Sharks kind of ruined you, but the Sharks are coming back down to earth again. So let's call it for what it is. I think Detroit might be a play tonight. Do you really want to lay a $1.94? Not really. You want to take them in regulation? Sure. Or the -1.5. I will say this too, fellas, to go along with Wetzel's dark cloud play of the night, you can't bet an under in a Leafs game. If they beat me, they beat me. Until they post a 7.5 at 6.5, I'll take the over. 6.5 and give me the Kings. I've had enough. I'm tapping out, Wetzel. It's 2024. I started with Washington and Michigan, and my new line that I told my woman is, I don't care about my teams anymore. I don't care. They don't pay the bills. I bet on the Steelers against the Seahawks because I'm a jerk, and they won outright. Dave, I told you, watch out. The Seahawks are going to screw this up. They did. And tonight, the Leafs, if they beat the Kings, so be it. But you're only laying $1.30 with a team that is 100 times better. The Leafs are a train wreck. They put, how are things going for Brad Treliving, the GM? Hey, guys, let's pick up Samsonov. Oh, no, let's put him on waivers. All the goaltenders they could have had. Can you believe this? They're paying he's on waivers, and nobody cares. Kings, over. Red Wings, 3-game Black Cloud parlay for Wetzel. You cannot, the Leafs win tonight, so be it. I don't care. I'm just not betting these guys. It's the Kings or nothing for me. Dave,
I wore the old school King stuff. This is just why I wore the old. It's got to be. When they don't have Marcel Dion or Charlie Simmer, Luke Robitaille, Jimmy Carter, that's okay. Yeah,
my mom went to. She's in insurance. I remember as a kid, I go, Mom, I really want to go see the Kings play hockey. So we went to 2 games when she had an LA business trip as a kid. We went back-to-back nights. The Kings were like the worst team in the league, but they beat the Flames 7-4, and Hakan Lubin Filter had like 3 goals for the King. And Bernie Nickel, it was awesome. I love it. I'm like, I can't believe the Kings won. I must be their good luck charm. So, and another thing, Dave, my parents had a piece of property. Bernie Nichols lived up there, so I was his bartender before. I've been like his server at restaurants.
Nice.
Great, nice guy. Oh, yeah, I love Bernie Nichols is actually one of the most underrated players and underrated human beings. Nice guy. He was always nice to me. Always tipped well as well. All I got to say is Bernie Nichols top notch, and I will take the Kings. I'm a horrible fan, but you know what? The Seahawks aren't paying my bills. The Leafs aren't paying my bills, nor the Raptors are paying my bills. So I don't care, and I have lots of bills. I'm with you, Dark Cloud. Let's go. I know that's why you're repping on the sides, Wetzel. Yeah, Colorado.
Exactly.
Live bet, yes.
Down,
I think they
down
will
2-1.
Yeah, we'll take Colorado live. Also, guys, a great bet that I found too. The Winnipeg Jets were down 1 goal to Tampa Bay. I think they find a way. If Tampa Bay ties it, I'll come back on Winnipeg. I think they win this game tonight. They're a hot hockey team playing really, really well. Rick Bowness has them playing great hockey, and they're I would consider them underrated. Hellebuck's playing well, and nobody's talking about, a lot of these guys on the team. They're just playing really, and they're doing it without, Connor was hurt too. So that's the thing about the Jets. They're just kind of these teams flying under the radar, and they're not very popular because they don't get a lot of coverage. Even in Canada, people don't talk about the Jets. Like, who? Winnipeg? Whatever. Like, they talk about the Leafs, or they'll talk about even Gabe's Canucks, but the Winnipeg Jets are kind of like that forgotten team, and they're playing very, very well.
What about the Canucks tonight? That line is too low.
Is screaming trouble. Wetzel? Is it part of the dark cloud effect with Senators and Canucks? I'm going to hey, listen, I'm going to take Vancouver, but I'm going to tell you, if this game loses, I got to be listening to my instincts. But the only reason I'm coming back to Vancouver, guys, is they lost their last game. And I remember Tocchet came out and said, none of this crap from the first half matters. We have to come out and play consistent hockey in the second half of the season. They're playing good. Ottawa, on the other hand, Jacques Martin, he's like, you guys got a lot to learn about hockey. He's not very happy with some of these guys they got on the Senators, but that line is very low. It feels very trappish, Dave. I feel like I'm the bear going through the woods.
Yeah.
And you guys, there's a nice piece of meat right there. And Wetzel, you got me right in the trap. Now I'm hanging from a tree. And I'm sitting there going, damn it, I'm caught. Be careful with this game.
Did you watch
tonight.
the outdoor game, Cam? Did you watch the outdoor game? It was great, was it not?
I'm going to tell you, my old man loves hockey, right? So because I was watching the Tennessee game with him. He goes, this game sucks. I go, yeah, it's pretty bad. Tennessee and Iowa. I go, Dad, do you like points? He goes, yes, I do. I go, we're not watching Iowa then. I gave him a quick lesson about the Iowa Hawkeyes. Flick, let's put the Winter Classic on. Johnny loved it. He's like, I go, Dad, you want to get in on it? I go, I'm betting Seattle in this game. He goes, oh, those Kraken uniforms. Like, he was kind of like, oh, they look really nice. I go, I got a good feeling about this team. They're a nice dog too. And he even agreed. He's like, you know what? I go, they won 5 in a row and they took care of business, Dave. Watch out for Seattle in the second half. They're starting to figure it out. We've been talking about this, and it's going to happen for a while. So, yes, we enjoyed the Winter Classic. I thought that kid playing guitar at the start, too. Who the hell was that guy? It was like Jimi Hendrix. I was just sitting there going, holy geez, man. It was actually, they did a really good job. I'll give Seattle and Vegas a lot of credit for that. That was a cool Winter Classic. The ice looked really nice, too. It wasn't like all chopped up. Pretty good. Good game.
I didn't realize they were they're going to have a doubleheader. Did you guys know that next month here at the Meadowland or at the Giant Stadium? I guess.
Giant Stadium.
Giant Stadium or Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
So
here's the deal, though.
Yeah. So they're going to have Devils and Flyers play on Saturday, I think it is, and then Rangers Islanders on Sunday, the very next day. How cool is that?
I think that's for Hockey Day in America. I think is that the Hockey Day in America series? Yeah, the Stadium series. Okay,
Stadium series, they're calling it.
Yeah, we have Hockey Day in Canada coming up, where every Canadian team plays, and they go all around the country and stuff like that. It's a very big day here, where people just hockey, youth hockey, and it's just hockey all the time, kind of like what it is all the time. But they actually have a name on it. But yeah, no, that's a lot of fun. I just don't want them to abuse these games, guys, because they're really fun. Like, the outdoor games are different. And me and Gabe talked about it on our show. When we were kids, we played outdoors, we practiced outdoors. Playing cold in the outdoors with your frozen feet. Like, it was kind of crazy as a kid. Like, outdoor games were punishment because it's not like these games. They were like real torturous. Like, when it was minus and you're freezing going, what the hell are we doing out here? Like, it's nuts. Like, no fans were there. Like, it was just a joke. But anyway, I just want them to, what do you say, Dave, Scott, water down the product? It's just one of those things, like, do it, but just put a lid on it. Like, just
not too much.
Just sprinkle it around a little bit and we'll be fine. But, that should be a lot of fun. I know Jack's a big producer. Jack's a hockey fan. He's a Ranger fan, so he'll be jacked up for the Stadium Series there. Basketball tonight, we got a great underrated game. New Mexico and Colorado State.
Yes.
Very interesting game. 3.5 to 4.5. What do you guys think about Sheriff Lobo getting 4.5, or are you with the Rams in this one? I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I'm thinking about taking New Mexico. Any thoughts?
Yeah, both 12-1, right? 12-1. I'll take the Rams at home. It was 3.5. Is it up to 4.5? I know I saw 3.5 this afternoon. So
on my book,
that's getting a little pricey.
Yeah,
a little pricey, but I'll still go with the home team.
Should be a good game. So I know what you guys are doing with the football this week. I was doing shows and I'm like, I got to get picks now. Like, I go, are you kidding me? Like, I don't even know
How
who's
do you
playing.
do it?
Oh, no, Dave, it's so like brutal. I go, because we do 2 parts. Well, so one of them's out there and I can't change it because I go into the Toronto studio and we do it. And once it's done, it's done. I go, we're going to look like idiots. Just want to tell you that we should have filmed on Wednesday, but I'm not the boss. And then I do another one. I literally will tell you guys, we will have 9 changes. Like I could just see me changing every game. The only games I've locked in, I locked in Arizona +3. I like the Bears over Green Bay because I'm just a sucker for punishment. David fits the bill. The Giants might be a live dog against the ice cold Eagles as well. Those are teams that I've looked at so far. It went well last week. And Wetzel, be careful. Be careful with Frank Falcon this week. I was the guy on the Saints. I told people it might be a little bit of a trap with Tampa Bay. They won outright. It was a huge day for me. I got pounded the Saints. But I'm telling you, this is the type of team to let you down when you need them twice. Like that friend, you called him. He says he's helping you move. He's gone. He's gone. He's out of town now. You're on your own, buddy.
3-point favorite.
Yeah,
the guys are on the line.
Wetzel, don't fall for it, Scott. You're Scott. We've been betting for decades. Don't fall for these little things. It's one. Is anything in life free? When they say it, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Scott, you know that, and I know that.
I know.
They're hanging threes out there. They're right. Click, click, click. Say click, 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 click. Dave knows. He worked in the book. It's the ultimate figure. Get my hook out of my lip. I'm telling you, it's a dangerous game.
This week is so hard. And you're talking about watching the Iowa game with your dad. Wetzel was watching it in
My dad's already
isolation.
sick. He goes, this team's making me sicker. I'm like, he goes, what's this team Iowa doing? They can't even score. I go, thank God I didn't get you into college football this year, Dad.
We needed that for the contest. Wetzel had that one for the contest. That was the weighted play.
The under.
Oh my God, you won by the hook because I had 35 and a half too. I'm like, no more. And they were going in for more points at the end. Kneel. My dad's like, what are you doing? He's like, don't worry. Put the hockey, just kneel and we'll put the hockey game back on.
Guy ran a play from the 3-yard line. 30 seconds left. The guy's running a play from the 3-yard line.
Oh, I know.
What is that?
I'm like, just dude, end the game 35. We don't need any monkey business. I got enough problems. But anyway, that Liberty game was crazy.
Cam, if that wasn't enough, he had to sweat that and then stay up late back east like you. I was at least out west, but had Washington plus the
I had
points.
Washington too, all day.
That was a great play. Like Washington they played excellent. And looking ahead to the game against Michigan, I mean, I was watching the videos that Gabe was posted. I've been to that Rose Bowl. That's so much fun. His team won an unbelievable game. And then Washington comes and wins their game. What's your first thought on that?
I've already
on the
bet
championship game?
I got Washington at 4.5 on a book, and I smashed it, Dave. I put like a nickel on it. Like I'm not screwing around with that hook. I think it's really big, and then I might come back with Michigan. But I'm going to tell you something. I had Washington meeting Michigan, but I had Michigan winning, so I have to come back on Washington. Maybe a perfect middle job to hit everything. Woo! That would be amazing.
Cam and Gabe, top of the hour. Thanks, Cam. Good job, bud.
Love you, Wetzel. Love you, Gabe.
One of the first states to legalize sports betting and finally, quietly, legalizing the online portion. And that, of course, is Delaware.
Delaware offered parlay cards through their lottery for years. And the local retailers didn't want to lose that money. They didn't want to lose the guys that were coming in to fill out those parlay cards. And, they're buying some beef jerky and chips on the way out of the store as well.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
Right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division favorite.
I don't care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I'm laying the 14.5. And against the number as an underdog this year, meaning when they cover, they went out by beat. There's a very real chance that this Michigan season is the best chance they will have.
Oh, Rocky Top, Tennessee.
So
Am I just a side better now? I'm right here on Saturday on College Football Today. It's bowl season, baby.
College Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This one was all Colts, 30-13. They win. They cover the one as the favorite. 41.5 just gets up and over.
And when Gardner Minshew plays okay, doesn't hurt his team, the Colts are in a lot of games. Some games though he stinks it up and looks really bad. And, I don't know. They're just a tough team for me to figure out. I think I bet 5 Colts games this year and got all 5 of them wrong.
Football Full Circle, only on SportsGrid.
We spent all offseason where the NFL said, hey, just so you guys know, running backs don't matter. If we then this year give the MVP to a running back, the irony. I am disappointed that they lost to FAU because secretly I don't really like this FAU team very much. I don't know. They're just not for me. And now they've completely legitimized the Owls.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Yay, congratulations, but the game was over at that point, so another one of those terrible beats. If you had 3.5, 4, even 4.5, this was a 10-point game until the final closing seconds.
InGame Live, PrimeTime, only on SportsGrid.
SportsGrid, the only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, primetime, wrapping up shop. Again, thanks to Cam for joining us, as he always does. Cam and Gabe, top of the hour. They'll be doing a little NHL, a little NBA, and obviously looking at the NFL scorecard. It will be a difficult weekend. There are a couple of lines that just kind of, though, over-under on the Jets-Patriots, Dave, 30.5. 30.5. And they made Houston now a 1.5-point road favorite at Indianapolis. Winner in, loser out. For the one of the playoff spots in the in the Eastern Conference. So little surprise. I mean, I do like Houston, but that did flip as the Colts were a 1-point favorite to start.
Makes perfect sense. It's not. I mean, it's a home game for Indy, but who do you want with one game to decide your playoff fate? I think more people are going to say C.J. Stroud. So
Brown, right?
Flip it, bet it. As the book. Listen, booking the games the last week of the NFL season is like booking the games in preseason. You just put up the numbers and go, let the bets fall where they may. We're going to get it all back and more in the playoffs. So you look at the lines this week. I'll run them down the numbers. 3 or 3.5, 1 or pick, 13, 4, 3, 3, a 5 on the Philly game. 6 or 6.5 with Cincy because that's themed. 3 or 2.5, 3 or 2.5, a 5.5, and a 3. Listen, this is one of the hardest weeks of the season. You got to have a dream. I need you to sleep well tonight.
Yes.
Let the wife go do her thing. Let her go to the spa tomorrow. Just give her some time away. Send her away. We need one more week, Wetzel. We got to find, dream, think. 2 winners. 2 winners. Get us to the finish line. 2.
We need to go 2-0. We will, because there's so many guys close to us. Even though we have a 1-point lead, we're going to need to go 2-0. No 2 ways about it. So, all right, but we got the extra day. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. Dave, great job as always, my friend. Let's get some winners tonight. Go Red Wings and Kings.